Kataa we, asha, sitaki, hapana, sema no. Maana ni mambo maovu tunakataa, si ndio? Wewe usipofunga mkono utakuwa kama ile nguruwe iliingiliwa na matimu nikaenda kwa mto. Hata hiyo tutakuja kwako. Haya, funga vijana huko nyuma, funga. Jaa. Umaskini, ukabila, mafuriko, kiangazi, magonjwa, vifo, Wetangula, Kodi Kenya, uko chonjo.
Right now, Gen Zs are a very, very good weapon that can build or destroy. Because the Gen Zs and the millennials, don't forget, we are also there. Like, for example, right now, you know, when you meet a Gen Z and their spirit, they'll just tell you, Ruto must go. And that is their own cause. For that reason, if I want to resonate with Gen Zs, I'll just come and say whatever they are saying.
You have to say Ruto must go.
Gen Zs must remember one thing, and I must quote James Bond on this. You may be the enemy of my enemy. That does not mean you're my friend. So if my sole purpose of waking up in 2027 will be to go to the ballot and vote out the government, vote out Ruto, then I will not do it. I'll either go and vote him in or I'll not go. Because it is misplaced. So once he has gone, then let us achieve it. Yes, let us feel tomorrow Ruto decides I have resigned.
And then
leadership hates a vacuum. And then it also brings in a question of Kenyans getting it wrong. Since Ruto made you that promise as a Kenyan, and he has not delivered. At the time when he was making the promises, we were mad. We were carried away. Happy. We were ecstatic. We were saying freedom is coming. Hatupangwingwi and all that. What makes you believe that the next person you believe is now the solution will not do the same? PLO once said that the problem with us, we entrust hyenas to look after our goats, and when the goats are eaten, we wonder why or how. Because the problem is not Ruto. My question is, how are you sure that Maraga, that what is his name, Matiangi, that Kalonzo or whatever, they were Munyoro, whatever, will not do the same or even worse than Ruto is doing?
So in other words, politicians are the same.
They are the same. We can only change the forest, but the monkeys are always the same. So this is my idea. How I wish Gen Zs, millennials, and all these other people, Kenyans at large, we came together through maybe a public initiative or whatever, pushed for some amendment of the laws, and maybe even if it is through a referendum, we say a manifesto be a legally binding document. Such that if I win an election and I go to the ballot, okay, I've gone to the ballot, I've won the election.
Yes.
As IBC gives me the certificate, they attach it with my manifesto. This manifesto states projects with their timelines. And you have said within 1 year, I'll have built, in my constituency, I'll have built 300 kilometers of tarmac road. I'll have supplied water to 5,000 homes within 1 year. Then, if it happens that within that the first year of your term, you've not achieved at least 70%, you are automatically impeached.
Now, Now you brought another something very very nice. You're talking about now if you don't achieve what you said in your manifesto because you said by yourself that you're going to do it within 1 year.
Yes.
Now you've not done it within 1 year.
Yes.
So you're going to be impeached.
We give you a percentage, say even 70 or 75%.
Okay. Now and let's just say that you don't achieve it. Now automatically you are going to be impeached.
The Speaker of the National Assembly or if it is the Senate announces your nini. And IBC will say it is vacant.
Now,
or maybe your number 2 takes it so that we can save Kenyans the money and resources. Your number 2, the person you beat by closest comes in also with his own manifesto, a certificate attached to a manifesto. He is given the timelines he has stated. He is given that time. If he doesn't achieve at least 70% kwenda.
But don't you think it might be tricky, because remember you mentioned earlier that this issue of politicians, after somebody realizes that he cannot achieve what you're supposed to achieve, or maybe he cannot perform well, he says that so he accumulates wealth and then runs. So now let's say that within a span of 1 year, that is 12 months. Now we are in the 10th month. This person has not even achieved 30%. Now what this person will do, will take the wealth, because there's no magic that can happen that a politician can do promise project 80% of the projects within 2 months.
Now this one now brings in another question of corruption. We put now our institutions that fight graft now be empowered well. Now that one is about the question of goodwill.
Okay.
Because if we do not curb corruption, even all these ideas we are giving are just but useless ideas, because we shall send auditors, people to go and rate this MP, and he'll say the MP has rated 97% when he has achieved nothing, not even 20%. So the moment the question of corruption comes in, and then I want us to say this, let us make corruption mistakes very punitive. Let us introduce very, very tough measures punitive enough to make sure that people will fear it, such that if today you are convicted and we have found you to be corrupt in this way, blah blah blah, you have maybe acquired Mwananchi's money illegally and what have you, we do not just recover after you being sentenced. We do not just recover what you stole. We recover that plus everything you own. So that you come out of jail, you go and start afresh. That one will be pain enough. You are once an MP, then you get out of the nini, hata ile shamba uliachiwa na baba yako, it is not there. Yes. You know, corruption, my brother, that one is eating us. It's like locusts in a very, very green forest of Sukumas. They are killing us. So if we cannot contain or fight graft, and not just purporting to be, fighting it really,
fighting it,
there's nothing we can do. And that is where the Gen Z weapon comes in well. Because myself as a Kenyan, we as Kenyans, sometimes when we are given stories about who did what and who did not know, we do not know whether or not he did it. As a Kenyan, I know my money was lost.
I don't care.
When you mention Anglo-leasing, when you mention Golden Bar, when you mention the NYS saga with Kena Anwai Guru, when you mention the Sharon lady that died and governor was convicted, as a Kenyan, I do not know who did what and when they did or they did not. I know that we lost money. As long as it happened. Yes, I know that we lost money through NYS, Anglo-leasing, Golden Bag, whatever. I know that the life of one of us was lost in the name of Sharon. So I do not know whether or not Obado did it. So for that reason, Gen Z come in, tafadhali, and be very ruthless. I go because I have money. I buy my ways out of the court and frustrate the case. As I get out, I step out of the court. Napigwa mawe na maliziwa hapo na Gen Z. twende hivyo wawili wakienda, then we shall be okay, because we cannot keep on crying about the same problems over and over again. Kwani hii corruption ni mbwa mwitu. When our leaders take microphones and stand on podiums and start telling us about cartels, kwani ni mbwa mwitu. So you produce them. We have given you instruments of power. We have given you our forces. Tumekupatia polisi. Our security apparatus are there. We have given you money. We are paying you a salary. Just convict these people. Stop telling us cartels. And some of them, once they are out of them, you know, our political gamesmanship involves some rough tackles and what have you. So for that reason, you find that mtu amepigwa kumbo, like in the case of Rigiji. Then out of bitterness, he starts telling us what used to happen when he was there. You understand? And even anaongeza mpaka chumvi. And then the foolishers are falling for his trap. What is wrong with the Kenyans? He is the enemy of your enemy. If you believe that Ruto is your enemy, yes, true, Rigiji politically is the enemy of your enemy. It does not make him your friend.
He's also doing it for
it purpose. Is for his own personal whatever. So let us just stop masquerading as if we are fighting corruption. We need to really actualize that. And how I would wish that we complete that one cycle. Bonnie, I told you that there is no shortcut to maturity. You must complete the whole cycle. The civilization journey is not an easy one. So Kenyans have not matured well. We are still back there. There is one step on the cycle we must go through, and that is the step where we feel pain. I can give you a very good example of one thing that makes me believe that we shall mature with the time. There's my uncle, you know, our politics is normally drawn along tribal lines. There's my uncle, a friend of mine, and I'll not mention him. During the campaigns, you know, I was deep in the UDA for also personal interests. You understand? I had a problem.
You have been promised, so
and
you had
it is
to.
Gamesmanship. So I went home and we were just talking. It was during the time when I was resigning as a teacher and what have you. So I told my uncle, you know, uncle, I've read the 2 manifestos. Nimepitia zote. And looking at hii ya mzee, hii ya kijana yetu, ya mzee inakaa more practical.
Dani yetu.
My uncle aligonga bakora chini akamwambia, he almost cast me.
For saying the truth.
Simply because you are owning this person because you speak the same language as him and you feel you can defend him. Go to a question of Luo Nyanza, for example. If the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga today went and said, Aki Kenya imenichosha, watu wangu kujeni twende tuanguke Lake Victoria, he will go with more than half the community. That is the foolishness that you must remove from amongst us for us to move forward. And how does will that be achieved? Through pain. That uncle of mine, last year, he bought 32 bags of fake fertilizer. Then I went home. Sorry. Then I went home for a certain function. I went home for a certain function and I found him. He had buried his head in his hands and he was like, inaonekana watu mko Nairobi mnaona sana. I said, sorry uncle, uliona mbali.
Wait a minute. The person that wanted to curse you.
Yes.
Now, as I was found himself in a situation, 32 bags of fake fertilizers. There is a lot of money.
That pain has made him learn, because I'm telling you, he had buried his head inside his hands and was like, uliona mbali, inaonekana uko Nairobi, mnaona mbali. And he was almost apologizing to me that because of ego.
He can't.
His status, he cannot tell me directly sorry.
Yeah, sorry. But
now, to me, that is the lessons I want us to learn. Kenyans, in fact, Ruto, please, we are buying fuel at less than 200 shillings, take it to 1,000. Wakukufa akufe, mwenye atabaki we shall learn and move forward. Because we are just there. Sometimes a politician tells a direct lie,
and then we accept,
and then you are there cheering and clapping for what? You need to feel enough pain to make you understand and make sober decisions instead of being emotional fools. We are just emotional fools. For God's sake. Who did not know Rigathi Gachagwa's position or track record before he was elected MP?
Everybody knew.
Who did not know his track record before he was elected alongside William Samoei Ruto?
Everybody knew, yeah. But maybe he's being elected with William Ruto surprised people, because people maybe did not think of that.
Leave alone that. Who did not know about Waiguru's record?
Everybody knew Waiguru's case.
Is she not in?
She is a governor.
Kina Mudava did when he was a minister for was it finance? The cases like Anglo-leasing. Who did not know?
So the problem is us Kenyans. We Kenyans
yes, it is not the leaders, it is ourselves. So we are emotional fools. You know, there is one thing you cannot take away from Kenyans and the world at large. Politics is built in a way that people vote along, even if you go to Russia, the Mayovisky thing, people vote along tribal lines. People vote along racial lines. People vote along religious lines and what have you.
Yeah.
So we are not wrong to do that. But let me ask you, if you went to the Kalenjin community, you have Isaac Ruto, you have William Ruto, you have these other Keter, you have these and so. So how do you arrive at one?
You have to bring all of them together.
Sasa, bring them together, then get the best. Such that if when you side with your own, you do not just believe in him because he is your own, but you believe in him because of his track record. You believe you are presenting the best. You understand?
Yeah, I get you.
So tribalism ibaki. We have to embrace our ethnic diversity. That one should be okay. But when I bring Chemiat here and somebody is bringing Boni here and they make their presentations and I believe Boni is better, I'll tell mtu wangu hata umeona nilijaribu nimekufikisha hapa. Now that guy has beaten you. Let us go on. And then let us be tribal. Now as leaders during campaigns, ni sawa. Resonate well with your people who speak the same way as you, and then you'll be elected. Once you've been elected, during service delivery, forget that you are voted by so and so.
Okay, yeah.
Service delivery should be done without prejudice, without favorism, without let every Kenyan stand an equal opportunity towards the resources, towards positions, towards everything. Yeah.
But how will we end this issue of tribalism? Because it's very rampant.
We cannot end it. See, I've just told you that Kenyans are not an exception. The world votes along those lines. Yes. So the only thing is that you cannot tell me if President Ruto today is a bad leader, all the Kalenjins make bad leaders. No. So there was another Kalenjin who could have been brought forward. If Raila Odinga is bad, then there is another one who was better from a community where they come from. Yeah. So be tribal, yes, but give us a good one.
Give us a good one.
Yes.
No,
and then don't take it to heart that when you lose, you feel like dying. No, it's gamesmanship. You supported so and so, you've been beaten, go home. Kunywa maji. Songa mbele. My former governor Mandago used to say weka kwa lungs. So after elections you breathe inaisha. Yes.
Now what as we almost winding up, let me ask you this question. Yes. How are Kenyans going to feel the leader? How are Kenyans supposed to feel the leadership? Like the relationship with this, how will we feel that we are being led, we have leaders who are leading us?
Look, right now there is a gap. There is a gap between mwananchi and the government, and that is what is bringing in all the frictions. And we, the media, you guys also are playing a very big role. We are widening the gap between a leader and the person who is being led. In that, the projects the government is undertaking do not have the blessings of mwananchi. You are doing a housing project, you are deducting salaries from civil servants. They are not feeling comfortable about it. They are complaining. Their complaints are finding those ones who are not even employed. You understand? And then the media is coming in, exaggerating every small wrong there is. Kukiibwa shilingi 5, the media should report about the 5 shillings. Instead of saying billions and billions. But when you are asked evidence, you give that 5.
The 5.
You understand? So the media is also all out to paint the government. You know, these days I look at the headlines of the papers and I sometimes do not read them because the media has now become very biased. Very biased. There cannot be a way, it cannot be that in as much as you feel the government is as bad, President Ruto and his government is that bad, hakuwezi kuwa hana kauzuri kadogo. These days they always just find the very best of the negative statement to put there. Even if he recently was in Mount Kenya for for rallies and projects and political tour. If a crowd shows up, on the first day he was seen surrounded by a section of youth or some few individuals talking to them one-on-one. They said he will not find a crowd. He finds a crowd, you come out and say money has been poured. Sometimes there is not even money. The media itself gave him that crowd. They speculated that there was going to be money to be poured, so the crowd came out in large numbers. Wale watu we uliangalia unaweza wapatia pesa ngapi? But
then the guy confessed that they were being given 1,000 shillings, 5,000.
Let me tell you, how many of them were given the money?
It doesn't matter how many.
Look at that crowd. You know, let me tell you, even if Rigiji today was going to Nyanza province, I promise you he will use money to mobilize. So it is not the question of money. It is the question of how many people are willing to come out. Those crowds, when you look at them, hata wewe kweli hata kama hukuenda shule.
Of course you can't give all of them money, but you have to give a group so that to mobilize for the mobilization.
Yes, there is no problem. Where is the problem with that?
And the buses that were being the buses, there are some school buses that are.
How many buses? And that is why I told you the media is doing this. You just need to see a bus or 3, take a good picture, then that is it. You will go and say buses have been, and even the AIs and what have you. Let me tell you the truth. And this is what I believe. I don't want to say I quote so on and so. Money may have been used, but sometimes even the president himself is an individual and take the politics to be business. He will ask himself, is it worth it? So if that crowd we saw there was being given that much money,
how much
you will ask yourself as a president, hii pesa hata siningechukua niende nyumbani, hata ni resign leo. That's a lie. And we need, so the media gave him he may have used the money in the first in terms of mobilization.
Yes.
Then the media speculated, so other people
came
from the subsequent one came because they believed there was going to be money.
So in short, these people, if at all maybe people came, they did not come to listen to the president. They came because they had the money.
No, I believe you know, you just don't come out for one reason.
For one reason.
Both reasons worked.
Yeah, maybe because there's someone who has never seen the president, wanted to see the president for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, you are like a celebrity. You once you are coming, let me tell you, even without money, speculate that President Ruto will pass there. People will stand by the road because ni celeb. This is somebody I only see on TV.
On TV, I want to see him now.
Yes. Out of that excitement and euphoria, I'll come out. So let us be realistic also. We cannot. Hatukatai, the government is not doing as much well. The economy is hurting. It is true. Why is the media not even emphasizing on the fact that because of the shilling power has somehow been maintained, and we have gained some power compared to sometimes last year. Deni yetu ilipungua by 1 trillion. Because only by just improving the power of our shilling did the media even talk about it. And if it did, they'll give it a very small faint sentence. But when it comes to mistakes, they do very large fonts that are bolded.
But don't you think, Kevin, you know, even I think even in life, when you do a lot of good things to somebody, and then you've been doing very good things, and then you find yourself doing just one simple mistake, I think this one simple mistake can change the narrative.
Yes.
I think that is where we are.
You know, the president himself messed himself. He messed up when he picked fights with the media together with Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes.
During campaigns and what have you, they were attacking media. And then during the mandamandos, they launched some direct attacks on the media. So the fourth estate now is responding.
Yeah.
And you know, they have the advantage because they are enjoying some bit of constitutional freedom and they are using it to finish the government.
Well, yeah.
They are finishing the government. So it also goes both ways.
Yeah, so it's something that somebody wants. Yeah, it's ni kitu ambacho
alijitakia. Yes. He brought that to himself. When you know, he was in government when they went and switched off some of the mainstream media.
I remember
he was there.
I remember they were saying that advertisement should only be done in cases.
During mandamanos. Some of even the reporters were injured.
They were injured.
So, and some of the officials in government, like Moses Kuria, were reckless with their mouths. They were even attacking the members of the fourth estate. So when you do that, they are retaliating.
Just retaliate.
Yes. Yeah.
So your last statement, maybe to Kenyans and maybe the government, as you wind up.
Okay, I want to tell this to the government.
Yeah.
Please, President Ruto and your government, make sure that these two things are priorities, are working, and the things might go soft on you. The SHA thing should work just exactly the way it is. Fund it and it works. It will change the whole thing. Number 2, the education funding model. Change it while it lasts, while you still have some political life. Otherwise, things are not as good. And then tame some of your leaders.
They're so noisy.
Noisy and proud. And that is what agitates and irritates the public. So that is what I can tell the government. To the public at large, I want to say this. Leadership hates a vacuum. Don't just make it your goal to vote Ruto out. Make it your goal to find somebody suitable and put in measures to make sure that this person will not turn against us after voting him. Otherwise, we shall be doing the same. We shall be repeating the same mistakes. And also, let us work hard, be true to ourselves, because we produce these leaders we are talking about. Thank you so much.
Maybe before I conclude, if maybe somebody wants to get you or maybe find your social media accounts.
Okay. My social media accounts, you can find me at first my personal account, Chemiat Arap Chemoet. That is Facebook and IG. You can find me by The Adage still on Facebook, and Facebook and The Adage is on Facebook and X, formerly Twitter. And also you can find me on TikTok at Chemiat1. Physically, found in Thika. I'm positioned there. You can find me at Chemiat Enterprises. That is at Sour House, first floor, room number 11. I'll not advertise myself because I'll not be saying what I do there. But you can also find me on Johanna Center at Epic Design. And off days, I play football.
You are
and a big shout out to Irigiro veterans because I'm a regular scorer there. So good. That is how to find me.
You're also a sportsman.
Yeah,
that's good. The energy speaks itself.
Yes.
Yeah. What I can say that I really appreciate taking your time, coming here. just a brief a short notice, decided to come. At least we have a show. And one thing I can tell the government, not the government necessarily, but because I talk together with the government every day. What I can say, maybe I can tell Kenyans, is that we made this bed, so let us just accept to lie on it until maybe the beds or maybe the mattress completely finishes, or maybe until the bed decides to break. That is when we'll decide maybe to make or maybe to buy another bed. In other words, I'm trying to say that we are the people who elected this government. So let us not every time complain about it, because at the end of the day, we'll come to realize that they will rule us up to 2027. So coming 2027, it's up to us. If we still want them to rule us, well and good. And if we feel like all of them needs to go home so that we can have a new breed, then again the choice is ours. After all, guys, that is all we have for today. And until we meet again in the next video, if it is possible, I have been your host, Bombshell. Bye bye.